Guys, what is up? Welcome to another Friday training. I will be your host, Joey Huber. And today we are going to be talking about why the hell do we get no-showed so much? Okay, well, some gyms get no-showed a lot and other gyms do not get no-showed a lot. And I have the luxury of working with a lot of gym owners, right? And so I'm able to figure out what the tactics and strategies that the top 1% of gym owners are using to not get no-showed so people actually show up and they make sales, right? And then I'm able to see what the bottom 50% of gym owners are doing or not doing, and that are consistently complaining about no-shows, because it is part of our business. And it's a mind-boggling part of our business, because why the hell would somebody schedule an appointment and then not show up to it? You didn't schedule it for them. In most cases, they self-scheduled it. They picked a day, they picked a time, and then maybe even confirmed it and then didn't come in. How do we get this to stop happening? Okay, so I broke it down into two simple categories, right? Strategy and tactics. Strategy is going to be, how are you acquiring these leads? Where are they coming from? What do they know about you, right? What are you telling them that you are going to sell them or propose to them? That is strategy. Tactics. What tactics are you using after the initial appointment has been booked to get them to actually come in, right? And so I think both of those are equally as important. A lot of times gym owners are thinking about, well, what tactics can I change or can I add to what I'm currently doing to get more people to show up? Well, if you have a bad strategy, it doesn't matter how many tactics you add, they're not going to keep showing up, right? If you have an incredibly compelling, irresistible offer, you could do very, very little tactics and they will just show up. Think about back in the day with the 6-week challenge, no-shows was not really a big issue, right? If you got no-showed by like 40% of your appointments, you're like, where the hell is everybody? Usually it was like 70 or 80%. And why was that? Well, it was such a compelling offer, right? The offer was very, very compelling, and the marketplace hadn't seen it yet. Now, obviously the marketplace has seen that, and it is not a very compelling offer, and you will get no-showed a lot if you try running that offer. But my point is that you didn't have to do much back then to get leads to show. And I don't think that people have changed too much. I think that the industry needs to maybe present something a little bit more compelling to a saturated market, and then follow it up with some good, solid lead nurture. So let's get into that now. Okay, we're gonna start off with strategy, guys. So this is the number one piece of information that I think I can convey to you that you can apply tactically to your business and make big changes right away. Where did your leads come from? Were they organic, right? Meaning that you sourced them without paying for advertising, right? So a lot of different ways that you can get organic leads, but organic leads typically will show up at a much higher percentage, right? And so as an example, if all of your leads, 100% of your leads are paid, right, then you are probably going to consistently have a show rate problem, because the people that are committing to you, they don't know who you are, right? They weren't looking for you. You disrupted them with advertising, right? They are not nearly quite as committed as organic leads that may know, like, and trust you. As an example, let's say that you run a really cool free Facebook group, like the one that you are in now, right? When I schedule appointments for gym owners to meet with, they don't no-show me. And why is that? Because we have a great offer. They know who I am. They know my messaging. They know that I'm somebody that could help them, or I have solutions to their problems, right? And if you're able to get that messaging across before somebody schedules an appointment, there's a much higher likelihood that they will show up to that appointment versus you running some offer to them on Facebook and they've never heard of you before. They weren't looking for you. They were just looking for cool cat videos. And then you just popped across their news feed saying, do you want to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks? And they're like, shit, yeah, I do. And they're going to click on the button. You know, it's probably going to autofill their information at this point in time. It's like 2 thumb presses and they made some kind of micro commitment. And you're like, where the hell is everybody? Dude, it took them like 10 seconds to do that. Right. And so unfortunately, like there hasn't been much work put in on your end to be able to get their trust yet. Right. And when they trust you, they'll show up. Okay. And so there's a lot of different organic ways. A free Facebook group, guys, is just one of them. You could have a built an email and SMS list where you're providing consistent value. You could have amazing signage outside of the front of your business that has an offer and a call to action. You could host a health and fitness fair at your gym, a local community event asking for referrals. These are all ways that you're getting new leads, right? There's so many ways to get leads for free organically that really paying for leads like Facebook ad should be an afterthought. Like maybe if you aren't quite going to hit your goal for the month on how many members you want to acquire, then sure, run a couple Facebook campaigns. But if that is your main strategy, then that is probably why you're getting no-shows so much. And it doesn't mean that organic doesn't work for you. It just means that you don't know how to do it yet. Because if you could get leads that show up for free and buy, why would you not do that? So anyways, organic versus paid, that will play a big role into whether they're showing up or not. Old versus new. Obviously, if you are running a campaign, let's say you're running an email campaign, right? Or a text campaign to your database, and you've been in, business for, I don't know, 10 years, you probably have leads from when you first started. The leads that opted into your stuff or were members 10 years ago are not nearly the same quality of leads that have freshly been to your gym. Like if they've been to your gym like 4 weeks ago for a trial or for a class or for an event or for whatever, right? You're hosting something and they checked your place out for it. Those leads are going to be much more hot, right? And so if you're like, why are some people showing up and some aren't? Because that person hasn't thought about you in a decade, right? Or 5 years or however long, right? And so the actual and that primarily, plays a role in like database reactivation or sending out big email blasts or campaigns. Or even if you are honestly like running Facebook ads and you're sourcing a custom audience, right? Or a lookalike audience or something like that from a really old list, right? It may not be something that is that valuable anymore. So always try to get the newer list as possible. And then finally, your offer, guys. Offer plays a big role in the strategy. Okay, so we're not talking about tactics yet, but strategy. If you have any red flags in here, like your offer is, you're offering like a free, really gimmicky, like free 6-week challenge, free 21-day detox, free whatever, or guaranteed results, or your money back, or any of that stuff. That's just a red flag to say, hey, if you are a very low commitment person and you want a quick fix and you want to not put any skin in the game or any risk at all, click here, right? And then you wonder why people, they don't show up, right? They're probably not the most committed people. And so they will not be the most committed to actually holding their appointments. They do not want to commit to a long-term program. And you told them that's okay, because you don't have to commit. Everything is free. So, you will attract the people, the type of people, your avatar, based on what you tell them about your business, right? And so your marketing, don't fall into this trap where it's like, look, you can market and say whatever you want, because once they get into the gym, then they'll understand the real you. Then they'll understand who you guys are and what you guys are all about. That is a horrible strategy, right? I think it is very important to be as transparent as possible with what you actually do and how you can actually serve your community while still giving them a compelling offer, right? Because the people that will walk in will be completely aligned with what you actually do, and they'll be so much easier to close. And if you are worried about the cost of the acquisition being a little bit higher, meaning like your cost per result on Facebook is a little bit higher, or if you're running this offer outside of that on Google or whatever it may be, all I can say is math, right? Just do the math. How many of those leads are actually scheduling? How many of them are actually showing up? And then how many of them are actually closing? Maybe even take it one step farther and say, what is the likely lifetime value of it? What are they buying? And how long do you think they're going to stick with you for, right? That is much, much, much more important than what was your cost per result. Was it a $4 lead? Was it a $20 lead? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That metric does not matter in most cases for gym owners. You're not selling t-shirts, okay? And so if you're really, really focused on getting the cheapest leads possible, then welcome to the no-show train. And then when they do come in, them not wanting to buy what you're selling because you told them something different on your advertising, right? And so the offer is very, very important, okay? Now, if you don't know how to make a compelling offer for a program that you actually want to service and it doesn't require you, like the reason why I am not a fan of the 6-week challenge anymore, right? I was when I ran it, but the costs and the money ratios are much different. And then the demographic is much different now, right? And so the reason I'm not a fan of it is because that is not typically what a gym owner wants to actually service, but it's the only way they think they can get people in their door, right? And it is going to fill your gym with the wrong kinds of people, and you're going to be twisting their arm to continue to stay with you, right? When they are people that are naturally not looking for a long-term commitment, and you told them that's okay. You said, don't worry, it's only 6 weeks and we'll lose a lot of weight in that time frame. Oh, and by the way, it's free, or you can earn your money back, right? That is like perfect for the person that does not want a commitment, right? And then but here's the thing, for it to work for your business, for it to actually make financial sense, they have to convert, because there is no money. Even if you're selling it for $600, right? You're probably paying $200 to acquire that customer, right? You probably have 20% margins. So what is 20% of 600, right? $300, okay? Sorry, it's not 300, it's $120, not $300. Okay, so you're spending $200 to acquire that customer on ads and show rate and all of that, and you are actually putting $120 in your pocket. That does not seem like a very good deal, right? So unless they continue, right, you are not actually going to make money from that customer. It's just math, okay? But you are attracting the people that are likely to not want to continue. So stop running that offer. Next, that covers everything that I wanted to talk about as far as strategy goes. So the rule of thumb here, and what you want to try to do is organic first, overpaid, have the majority of your leads be organic. Again, if you don't know how to do that, then get with somebody that does so they can teach you, and you have those skills yourself. And you do not need to rely on marketing agencies who are just going to charge you a shitload and underdeliver, okay? Get the skills, okay? Organic overpaid, new over old. That's pretty common sense, right? And then finally, an offer that is compelling, right? But is not just ridiculous, to where you are going to get everybody and their mother to opt in, and then be surprised when they no-show you, right? Okay, so if you don't know how to write an offer that covers both, that speaks to the person, to your avatar, to the person you really want to help, and gives them a reason to come check it out. If you don't know how to write that offer, again, get with somebody that does, because it is a very important skill set for you to have as a gym owner. The programs you run are going to change. Whether you ran challenges, then you ran, whatever, free trials, then you did a Groupon, then you did a transformation program. It's going to change, guys. What the marketplace wants is something new, fresh, adaptability, right? And so if you don't know how to pivot with the changes, if you haven't acquired that skill set yet, every time something changes, you're going to be like, shit, now what do I do? Guess I got to go hire a marketing company because they're the ones that know how to get it. Dude, it's an easy skill. You just have to tap into it. Next thing. Tactics. Okay. So tactically, we've fixed our strategy, right? We figured out the organic stuff. We figured out where people actually know, like, and trust you before they book an appointment. They're so excited to meet with you. Now it comes down to what do we do after that appointment has been scheduled to get them to show up, okay? Methods and priorities. Number one, methods, calling them, texting them, emailing them, okay? I recommend doing all three, right? Not crazy, like you're trying to renew their car insurance or something like that, or their warranty on their car. Don't call them that much, but call them. So what I have my team doing is when the appointment is booked, right? If it's during normal hours, we double dial them right away, immediately. So call, and the priority is speed. Speed is king. Got it? So call them fast, right? And just intercept that appointment. Be like, hey, what's up? This is Joey with Body by Design. Anyways, I saw that you just popped up on my calendar, and I wanted to ask you a couple questions so I am best prepared for when we meet together. Is that cool? Right? Always asking permission, right? And they're like, yeah, that's totally cool. Hey, so anyways, I wanted to know a little bit about your goals and what you're looking to accomplish, and just make sure that 3 p.m. on Sunday works well for you, right? And they're like, oh, I'd like to lose weight. I'd like to do this. I'm like, okay, cool. What have you tried in the past, right? And that'll give you some ideas of what they've maybe spent money on in the past or whatever. Take a couple notes, be like, hey, super appreciate you taking the 30 seconds to talk with me. Anyways, I'm super excited to be seeing you Thursday at 3 p.m. And I'll probably send you a couple text reminders just in case, and it'll have the address so you won't get lost. Is that cool? Awesome, right? And so that takes a little bit of no time at all. The reason I asked about results and what they're looking to do is because it builds a little bit of rapport and it gives a micro commitment, right? Because now I am going to prepare for that session. I know how to prepare for that session, right? It would really suck if this lady told me her goals and now she knows that I'm going to prepare. I bet you she would feel like shit if she just didn't show up for that, right? We talked together, and I confirmed it. So 2 micro commitments I got. I got a confirmation. She said, yes, I will be there at this day and time. And then I also got a little bit of a commitment from her by me saying, I'm going to prepare for you based on what you just told me. Okay. But speed is king there. Okay. So you want to call them immediately upon them opting in during normal business hours. Otherwise, right away the next morning, be like, hey, I saw your appointment come in overnight. I just wanted to give you a quick 30-second call to talk about goals and to make sure that Thursday at 3 p.m. is still cool. Is that cool? Right. So the next method would be texting, right? And so the point of texting is to systemize it. Okay. So you don't want to sit there and message out the same text to everybody. That would be taking a lot of time. And there's so many softwares that can systemize, not automate, right? There's a difference between the two. So automated texting in my mind would be text like ManyChat, right? Where somebody says, like they're talking to an automated bot, right? They're talking to, they say, what are your goals, right? And then they're like, I want to lose weight. And then the bot responds back, awesome. How long have you been trying to lose weight for? And then the person's like, 4 months. Oh, I think that you would be a candidate for this. What have you tried in the past? Guys, that's an automated conversation. It's just stupid, right? It's just, it doesn't make sense for somebody that when you have a brick and mortar gym and you're trying to sell them a high ticket or a membership, right? I think it makes sense to take time to have the conversation, even if you're not the person that's doing it, somebody on your staff, like a real person, right? So that's why systemizing it makes sense. So systemizing means that, let's say a appointment comes in, it can automatically send out a text message that says like a confirmation, like, hey, thanks for scheduling. You're all set. And here's the address. I'm sorry, here's the address for where to show up. Please be 5 minutes early and then shoot me a message when you get here. Sometimes I'm out on the gym floor, right? Or I'm in an office. So just shoot me a Y when you get here, or just shoot me a here when I'm here. And that way I will make sure that I'm prepared for you, right? Again, another commitment there. They have to give an affirmation. So the other systemized text that I like is a 1 hour and a 24-hour appointment reminders, right? So 24 hours before the appointment, I like to send out a reminder that's automated, but it's systemized, right? And that way, you're not remembering. Okay, perfect. It's been 1 hour or it's been 24 hours. Let's send this thing out, right? And so it will say something like, "Hey, just want to let you know I'm super excited to chat with you tomorrow. I know life gets super busy and sometimes things change. Are you still good to go for that time? If you are, just shoot me a quick Y. And that way I will lock it in, right? And then you should get a response that says why, right? Or, yep, I'm good, or whatever it may be. If they have questions, you should be able to reply back to them normally, like answer their questions, right? I don't usually ask them questions because then you could end up engaging in a lot of conversations depending on how many leads you have, and it could end up being a full-time job. Like if you're able to generate 200 to 300 leads a month, and like your 24-hour reminder is, hey, what are your goals? Like, dude, do you know how many people, like, do you know how much conversations you're going to end up having? Like, to me, like they're coming to talk to you about your goals. You don't need that in, it's two-part. You don't, first of all, you don't want to engage in that much conversation before they come in, because it's going to take somebody, whether it's you as the owner or somebody else on your team, a lot of time to get back to everybody. And number two, some people just want to be heard, right? And if you scratch that itch for them, if you satisfy that need to have them talk and vent about their struggles in the past, or about how they're overweight, or about how their husband is not supportive of eating clean, or about how they had this injury that, or whatever, right? And if you're talking back and forth, you're almost coaching them, right, about this conversation, you're going way too deep, then you have scratched that itch for them, and they might not show up because they didn't really want to buy something, or you weren't able to really pitch it to them. They just really needed to get that out, and you let them do that, right? Let them do that, but in front of you in person, so then you can propose a solution to that problem, right? Which is the sale, okay? Don't do it over the phone, over text, okay? Unless you're doing phone sales, but that's not text. Next, email. Again, so we want to get micro commitments from the email. Emails should go out at around the same time that the text messages go out, but maybe they have long copy, right? So they have a cool image of maybe like a transformation, a before and after testimonial. And they say something like, hey, super excited for our meeting tomorrow at this time. Anyways, here's a picture of Jenny. She just completed the program that you are going to be talking to me about tomorrow, which is going to be super exciting. And if you could just reply back to this email so I can lock in your spot, again, a micro commitment. And that way they know that if they don't reply back, that the spot could go to somebody else. Okay. And so that would be what I think are the top priority tactics. I don't think you need anything else than that. If you just do these consistently, right? Not just when you feel like it, not just like when you have plenty of leads or you have no leads, but all the time. Find a way to systemize it. Again, if you don't know how, there's programs out there that do that, and there's people out there that give you those skills. Stop relying on other people, get the skills yourself. Next, must-haves. So this is the final thing that I will cover in this training, but here are the must-haves. Number one, convenient availability. If your availability for sales times sucks and is only convenient for you, then you are likely to get no-showed a lot, okay? And it's because people will still schedule appointments if they can maybe make it work. Let's say the only time that you're able to meet is when you're not teaching classes, so like 11 to 1 or 2. Guess what? That time is super inconvenient for everyone else too. They don't want to come to your gym at that time, right? But that's all you have open. And so they'll be like, okay, well, maybe if my boss lets me off early for lunch, then I can swing over there really quick, talk with them for about 15 minutes, see what it's all about, grab a quick bite on my way back, right? But they know that if anything happens, right, their boss says no, they get behind on their work for the day, they get super hungry and want to stop at lunch first, whatever. Any disruptions, your thing goes out the window. Oh, I'll just reschedule that gym thing. Yeah, and then they'll never reschedule it. They just don't come, right? Or I'll just end up going back to that gym thing. Or if it's like super early in the morning or it's super whatever, and like they have to drop their kids off somewhere, but then their kids don't want to fit and kicking a shoe out the window. And they're like, shit, I'm not going to be able to make this time, or I'm only going to be able to spend 5 minutes there. It's impossible. Like, look, you guys are going to get no-show, right? You have to have times that are convenient before and after work, right, for people to meet with you in sales. Now, if you don't know how to free your time up so you're actually able to meet with people during prime time hours, then you have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to replace yourself with whatever you are doing during that time, or hire somebody that can sell, but it's a fundamental of owning a gym that you're able to sell to people when it's convenient to sell to them, right? If you don't want to do that, then you can't complain about no-show rates. Okay, or you can complain, but just don't be upset if no one listens, right? Because you are making it only convenient for yourself, right? And then wondering why nobody else is coming in. Okay, next. The 24-hour and 1 hour reminders, those got to go out, guys, with micro commitments. They got to be able, if you, and then finally the response back. Guys, if you don't get a response back, these people aren't going to show up, right? And you should have asked them for a response back like 5 times, right? Whether you called them right away and you're like, okay, is that time cool? Right, awesome, right? And then you can ask them for a response back via text, right? And be like, hey, just shoot me a Y, especially like the 1 hour appointment reminder. Hey, I'm usually out on the gym floor, just shoot me a Y when you get here. That way I can wrap up with my client and be ready and waiting for you. Is that cool? Right. And if they don't reply back to that, right? Or the email, right? Hey, are you excited to get this started? This is Jenny. She just completed the program that we're going to talk about. She had amazing results. She's super friendly. You'll probably even see her at the gym. Are you excited to get this thing started? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. No response back, right? If you can't get a response back from these different approaches, they don't answer, they don't call you back. You left a voicemail, you called them again. You text them in a systemized fashion. They didn't reply with your call to action, right? Call to actions built into it. You emailed them, showed them a testimonial, showed them something, asked them if they're excited. They didn't get back to you, right? If they're not getting back to you on any of these things, they're probably not going to show up, right? And so then you have to ask yourself, I wonder if it's the strategy, right? Why are so many people booking appointments and just completely blowing it off, right? So the goal is to get that micro commitment. At my gym, if they don't respond back, like, I don't know, 3 hours before the appointment, we just canceled it, be like, hey, sorry. Obviously, like we've reached out to you a few different ways. It doesn't seem like it's a very high priority for you, which is totally cool. But when it becomes a priority, just let us know and we'll get you rescheduled, right? And people are like, oh shit, no, sorry, I'm coming, right? Or they'll just not no-show you, and you can plan that time with something else, do something else during that time. So anyways, guys, I hope that this helps you. I hope that by identifying the right strategy and the right tactics, that you will get way more people in front of you, and you're able to close people on programs that you actually want to sell and actually want to fulfill. Okay. So thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I will see you guys in the next video. We're out of here.